Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you made your first million?
Love this guy.
Come on. We're gonna get him, bro. Come on. Sir, how old were you? Could you give me one advice to a new entrepreneur in today's world? They're trying to grow a business like you.
No, I sold my business.
For how much? Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you made your first million?
Who wants to know?
I started one of the biggest business media channels in the entire world, where I go all over the world interviewing the most successful business owners for the younger generation. Wanted to know if I could ask you a couple questions for 1 minute real quick.
I like to remain kind of quiet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What line of business were you in?
Look, fellas, I don't know who you are and I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Real quick,
excited to.
I just want to show you real quick, just that way you can kind of get an idea. This is my channel right here. So you see I do stuff. So we go all over the world and just asking people some questions on how they made it for the younger generation. We've got 5.4 million followers on Instagram. So just asking people a couple career advice. So it's a very legit platform. We've done stuff with like the owner of the Houston Texans, the CEO of Nike, the CEO of 7-Eleven.
What's your name?
James Dumoulin.
James Dumoulin.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So how old were you when you made your first million?
I don't know. I was reasonably young, I guess.
Yeah. What line of business were you in?
I worked for a company my entire career, business service company, and I think there's a lot to be said for working in one place as long as it's a good company. It doesn't matter what they do. It's got to have an opportunity and it's got to have a culture that's going to allow people to succeed, and that's what we did.
What was the highest role that you held in that company?
I was the CEO.
Of what company?
I don't want to tell you guys.
What's the name of it?
It's a good company. It's a public company.
It's a public company?
Yeah.
Like what I guess area is it? Or-
It's business services.
Do you think a lot of people know the company?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna, if it's public, it's public knowledge, right? Like, could you say what company it is?
You'll have to look this up.
Let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Leadership is the downfall of a lot of companies in today's world. And you ran, how many employees did you have at one time?
42,000.
43,000? What's the most amount of money you made in a single year?
The company did multi-billions of dollars in revenue a year, so we did well generating high single-digit revenue growth for 50 years.
Are you a billionaire?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
Are you still the CEO of the company?
No, I'm
Or
not.
you're
I'm not. No.
So why did you retire?
I was there for 18 years as CEO, and there's a point in time where you realize you're not running at the same pace that you were in your younger days, and it's time to turn it over to somebody else.
Right. Let me ask you this. I'm going to go back to real quick. You were the number one out of 42,000. You had 42,000 employees. What was the biggest driving factor of your success that enabled you to work your way up and become a CEO of a multi-billion dollar company?
Advice to who? Who am I giving the advice to?
Somebody starting out at a corporation right now,
Okay.
and they want to work their way up and become a CEO. Because most people, they can't even imagine that. Like that seems so unreasonable to people.
Right.
But you put it in reality.
Every day, I went to my boss at the end of the day and I said, I'm done with what I had to do today. Is there anything else you want me to do? Sometimes they'd say no. Occasionally they'd say yes. I need this. Can you help me with this? But my boss eventually thought that I was their right-hand person, because every single day I'm coming to them and asking them, is there anything else I can do? And when your boss thinks you're their right-hand person, when their boss comes to them and say, we need somebody to do something else, do you have anybody? The people that are volunteering to do all that extra work are the ones that get the chance to do it. Now, every time you get that extra chance, now you got to perform. You got to do a really good job. But my advice is be your boss's right-hand person. Be there. Be there all the time. Go to them every day. What else can I do? Anything for you? Sometimes they give you stuff to do, but what they're giving you to do were things that they had to do. So you're learning some of your boss's job by doing that sort of thing. So that would be my advice. You got to work your butt off.
How did you deal with all that pressure? Because you got to worry about shareholders, you got to worry about employees, you got to worry about customers, you got to worry about prospective clients. How did you manage to stay calm when you have immense pressure like that? Because again, to have 40,000 people working on you, you've got people that are investing in your company, you got to perform. How did you manage that, man? That's incredible. I know it wasn't easy.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. I guess the best way to say it is, as you move up the organization, you kind of get used to different levels of pressure. I tell my kids that life doesn't quit throwing hard problems at you. You just get more used to dealing with them. And as you get more used to dealing with them, you don't overreact as much as you did when you were younger. So, it's like the frog in the kettle and you turn the temperature up. They don't realize it's going up. It's just going up. That's what happens in business with the kind of pressure that you take on as you move up into more and more responsible positions in the company.
Who's the number one person that had the biggest impact on your career in terms of like a success standpoint? Who did you learn the most from?
My father and my predecessor as CEO before I took over the role were probably my biggest influences in business. My dad was a businessman as well, and I learned an awful lot from him when I was young. And then when I took the role of president of our company and I worked directly for my predecessor, I learned so much from him.
What was the lowest point in your career?
Don't make me go there.
Let him know, though. No,
I got to run, all right?
Give me that last one, because I think that adversity helps people to get them to understand.
I mean, anybody who spends a career in business has more problems that you deal with than you do upsides.
What was your name, sir?
I'm Scott.
Scott, last name?
I'm Scott.
Scott, thank you, sir. I appreciate you.